Hey everyone, welcome to Before the Bat, the Gotham podcast, your guide to the TV show Gotham and all things Batman. I am Phil, Tyler is here.
Hello.
And we have a very special guest before we get into this week's episode. You may know her as Olga, the Penguin's, you say housekeeper?
Russian maid.
Maid, yes. Miss Deborah Unger, how are you?
I am fine. Thank you for having me on the show, guys.
Oh, no problem.
Oh, you're welcome.
We love talking to people from the show. But, yeah, I was doing my research, and I see you're from Philadelphia.
I was born there. I'm an Army brat, so I lived there for a hot 6 weeks before we moved. And, then 2 years later, we were back for 2 years, and then bouncing around the country and over to Europe for a while. So Philly was where I was born, but I don't really call it my home.
Okay. I was just curious because I'm near Pittsburgh, so.
Well, I went to school in Pittsburgh, so.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah, I went to University of Pittsburgh.
Okay. Cool.
I know all about the moving around part. My dad was in, was in the Navy, so we moved around quite a bit when I was a child.
You know,
I didn't get to Europe though. That's the sad part. But yeah, dang it, Dad. He doesn't listen to the show, so I can say whatever I want.
Well, it was
dang it, Dad.
Time. Mm-hmm.
So did you get?
Yeah, it was a very interesting lifestyle. Mm-hmm.
Mm. So did you go to Pitt for acting?
Yes, I did. That was my major. Then I went to Florida State, and then I got into the program I really wanted to get into. So I'm like an overeducated actor.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. It's a good thing. It gave me tons and tons of experience in doing a lot of things, especially roles that I wouldn't play for another 20, 30 years. So I got introduced to all those character parts very, very early on and have finally kind of grown into it. And Olga is, I guess, my coming out party on TV anyway.
Yeah, because I did see you've done films, you've done things on stage, and now you're on TV. Do you have like one true love? Do you have a favorite?
Well, I have to say, in a way, the favorite is the theater, is the stage, because you're acting with an audience present, and so you have an active, real, living thing going on. But I think that Gotham and the whole organization at Gotham is about the closest I've experienced in film or television to theater, because it's just such a cohesive, welcoming, humble, and inclusive place. You just feel like, you're being welcomed home instead of showing up to do a day's work. It's really nice.
That's cool. You always hear about everyone who experiences different shows or different acting jobs, how they vary from project to project. So it's cool to hear how Gotham is.
Yeah, it is. And I've got to, my best guess is this comes from the top down, because how the big bosses are is how, and it was from going in for my costume fitting, just the most collaborative experience I've ever had. So everybody wants to go back and work on the show because of that, because it's just a great place to be. Not to mention some of the coolest sets in the business.
Oh yeah, you got to work in the big mansion thing.
Oh yeah, yeah. When you're in that big dining room area, the last thing they do before cameras roll is they say, "Fire up the fireplace," and whoosh, the flames come up, and you're like, "Okay."
Okay,
This
so
is
I wanted to
real.
ask, it is a set and not like a location? I've always kind of wondered about certain spots on the show, if they were sets or locations. And Penguin's house was always one I was wondering about.
Penguins, everything that I've worked in Penguin's house is at the studio. The studio's an enormous lot. There must be a total of at least 4 TV shows that shoot there. It's an enormous lot. And the mansion, I think the mansion's just set up all the time. I always have, because it's always in the same place. But they do use a lot of location shooting as well. Obviously, car chases and stuff like that. People jumping off bridges, that's outside.
It sounds really fun, but who was the most fun on that set to work with? Was it Robin Lord Taylor?
Well, he was the first person I worked with, and he is he made me feel like I'd been there with him forever. But it's hard to say because Aaron, Stabby Babs, was a lot. I got to spend a lot more time with her because we were waiting for our scene, and as with everyone else on the show, she's very open and warm and friendly and making you feel like you're in your home, not visiting. And she's also, I think her training initially was theater. So she said, "You want to run the scene?" So we worked on the scene. We ran it and worked on our lines and, did the whole 9 yards. And that is also not very common in television. So it's, for anyone who's got that background, it's just a remarkable thing. It's like a hybrid in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you could tell they put a lot of love into that show.
Absolutely. And they don't mess around with their sets either. In the first episode I was bringing the Penguin his breakfast. That was no Party City platter. It was solid silver. So when I was standing there holding it while they were doing camera adjustments, I'd say, "May I cut this down?" Otherwise, Olga's going to bulk up. So, which might not be a bad thing with what's going on right now for Mr. Penguin. He could use a little muscle to protect him. But yeah, their sets are impeccable. They don't cut corners. They everything that they do contributes to that world being so vivid, and I think that's why everybody likes the show.
I agree.
Yeah.
It's very well done. It looks authentic, and just everything feels tangible and real.
It is.
Have they said anything to you about returning? Because I saw a scene with the mansion this week, and I was like, "Oh, is she going to be there? Is she going to be there?"
I have not yet heard anything. When a season is set up, they know what their long story arc for the season is. Mm-hmm. And I shot that first episode back in August. So they already knew in August what their story arc was. So my best guess is, there may not be room. I mean, so many things happen in each and every single episode. I don't think they have a lot of wiggle room to add something in that wasn't in the original plan. Mm-hmm. But, I'm supporting the show the best that I can. And I've been live tweeting new episodes. So if you want to, that may be where you found me in the first place. Yes. Right. So I'm just supporting the show, and I tweet as Olga. I do not tweet as my actor self. It's much more fun that way, and just hoping that the the show is seeing the tweets that are flying that people do want to see more Olga. So fingers crossed. And if you love Olga, tweet the TV writers and say, hey, bring her back.
Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah.
Phil, we have a mission for Monday night.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Always.
Yeah.
Man, you know what this scene could use, Phil?
More Olga. Yes.
Penguin needs a real friend. Where's Olga?
Exactly. I'm thinking she's down in the basement making her own line of, dessert toppings / poisons for anyone who comes to the mansion and is not very nice to Mr. Penguin,
I have an Olga question. I'm curious because I think actors go one of two ways with this. Since you're working with the accent, do you stay in the accent to make sure you keep it, or can you like drop in and out of it flawlessly?
I can. I don't know about flawless. Fortunately, I know people who speak Russian, and I don't know if this comes from being a kid and moving around, but I have a pretty good ear for sounds, and so I kind of know how a person who speaks Russian and then learns English would construct their sentences, and that helps me to be able to drop in. And they've been kind enough to let me alter, a few adverbs or articles or whatever, so that it has that feel of someone who just learned English as opposed to someone who's been speaking it for a while. But for me, given the costume and the way it's written, it's easy to just drop into it when it's needed.
That's awesome. But or would you be willing to do more comic book TV? Because I know over on Arrow they're doing all their flashbacks this season in Russia. You'd be perfect for that.
Oh, that would be fabulous. Yeah, it's been a very funny past year or two for me. I played a German woman on stage. Then I've got Russian Olga. I had an audition and they wanted a Dutch accent. I do Irish. So I think I'm going to become the accent girl is what's happening. I would love to do more comic. I like the world. I like the worlds because they're larger than life.
Mm-hmm.
But that lets you kind of highlight things that might otherwise just be a little depressing, about life, about how people get run over and really need assistance, and the way people yearn for a hero. So we get to see that in the comic book world. So I'd be happy to cross-pollinate with the other folks.
I would like to see that. I like your mindset there.
Yeah, it's a good way to go.
So is that like your favorite characters, like the Olgas who might not be the nicest people and, might have like a darker side?
Well, here's the truth. I think everybody has a dark side. How large is what is the question, and how much do people play into their dark side? And I think the way that the DC world and the comic universe is set up, people have both sides. Now, in comic book world, it's very black, very white. There's not a lot of gray, but when they get into the gray area, that's what's interesting. When there's a conflict. I mean, well, Jim Gordon's just a pile of conflict.
Left.
So that's what makes things interesting, because we would like to think the world is pretty cut and dried, and it isn't.
I agree. I mean, you're on a show that is definitely like Jim is always the one trying to walk the line, between what he can and can't do as far as his morality.
Exactly.
Still trying to be that upstanding cop, but at the same time, having to, deal with the implications of not always being able to be the cop he wants to be.
Yeah, because sometimes it's just easier and faster to do the bad thing to accomplish the good thing.
Yeah, the whole thing is very intriguing.
I mean, if you look at the character of the Penguin, this guy had it kind of rough from jump, and he's built himself into, the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
He's pulled himself up by his own bootstraps. Unfortunately, there are about 15 other people in Gotham who are trying to do the same thing, so that's why it's always a shooting match. But if you look at kind of the lessons of what's being given in the storyline, it's everybody can relate to it. Just some people have problem with the size of it, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's as valid as every other art form in telling a story and illuminating aspects of humans and life and how you get on, how you survive.
Mm-hmm.
This is dark Russian philosophy, I am telling you right now.
Yes! All right.
Nothing is to be easy, all is to be hard.
All right, I have one last question. Is Olga loyal to the Penguin, or if Stabby Babs takes power, will she jump ship and maybe work for Stabby Babs?
I am thinking Olga is loyal to the man. I think, she was not having a real wonderful time and just trying to get by. And here comes this nice Mr. Penguin and brings her into his universe, and she's sticking with him.
I love it. That is awesome.
Good. Penguin needs somebody.
He does. He needs someone at home to keep that fire burning, and to mix up a little mayhem and get him out of a jam or two.
Mm-hmm. But
poor guy's gonna be all on his own soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's having a tough year.
Yes, he is. But Deborah, I think that's about it. Thank you very much for joining us.
You are so welcome. Thanks for asking me. Thanks everyone out there in Gotham world.
Is there any other projects you're working on right? Is there any other projects you're working on you'd like to let people know about, and share your social media so people can follow you for the live tweets and stuff?
Well, my tweet handle is at Deborah Unger with the number 1, DeborahUnger, number 1. I'm on Facebook with my real name, and hopefully you'll be seeing me on Gotham next season. In the meantime, I'm writing a stage piece for myself and have a few other projects in the works. So if it's ready to go, you'll be hearing about it on Twitter.
And next time we see you on the show, I know we're going to see you back on the show. Maybe we'll, maybe if you honor us again, come back and we can discuss it.
I'd love to. Always happy to talk about my Russian maid and Mr. Penguin.
Nice. All right. Thank you very much, Deborah.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have a good show.
You too.
You as well.
That's awesome. You know what? I'm always nervous before interviews like that, but she couldn't have been nicer. Most of the people we talk to are really nice.
Yeah, because you never know, and I'm always nervous too. That's why I'm always like, "Hi,
hi, I'm Tyler."
Go ahead and talk, and then as you talk, I'll figure out if I can talk with you, or if I just need to be Yep, agreed. You're awesome.
But that's what I was saying. I was so hoping we got like a quick shot at the mansion this week. So I was like, oh, that'd be perfect if even if we just get 5 seconds of Olga.
I wonder. I could have asked her this. If they ever just film stock footage scenes, all right, just act like you're cleaning, act like you're doing this. Just get her on date, set for a day, have her do some walk into a room, carry a tray, transitional stock shots. That way they can just insert her in episodes without actually having to have her on set.
Yeah, I don't know. The only scenes I really notice are just when they go from different scenes and they go do that thing flying through the city.
Yeah, you're establishing shots of the locations.
But But yeah, let's get into this week's episode. Mad City, Smile Like You Mean It.
Did you want to hang up and call back or just keep going?
No, we can keep going.
Okay. All right. Before we get into the episode, Phil, I have a question for you. Okay. You're reading a lot more Batman comics than I am.
Yes.
So, the Batman Rebirth suit, is it black or is it blue in the cape and cowl? I feel like I pick up an issue and it's black. And then I read another issue and it's blue. I don't know, Phil. I just don't know what's going on here.
I don't know. I kind of feel like it depends on the artist. But yeah, it's very inconsistent.
Because it felt like it started black, but slowly in the books it's becoming blue.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, the blue's cool for a comic book, but I don't know, I'm not a fan of the blue on Batman. I like the black. The gray and black, it makes more sense. It's darker, it's creepier, it's Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I let the purple in the cape, which makes no sense, slide. You know, it jumps off the page, but it makes no sense in practicality. But I let it slide. But blue and purple, just had to throw that out there. I needed some Phil correspondence on that.
Yeah, like I said, I think it's like an artistic choice. Okay. But yeah, so do you want to jump into the episode?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So Jerome's back.
Yeah. Yeah. Creepy. It was kind of like, I feel I can definitely see where, like, you know, they're doing these 3 episodes, then taking their break again as being one story arc. So the end of this episode, I'm curious about what the end of the next episode is going to be, because I feel like the end of this episode was a really good cliffhanger. But man, Jerome, like, Cameron is a great actor and is portraying a very awesome character, or I guess characterization of the Joker, or what could be the Joker, since we're still not 100% sure if he's supposed to be the Joker or just a Joker.
I think he's taking I think he's taking his cues from Heath Ledger. You could tell he studied Heath Ledger, because that voice, it sounds like the Heath Ledger Joker.
Oh yeah, the voice and some of the mannerisms. But man, did they go full on Snyder Capullo with this idea? With the whole cutting off the face, and then
oh yeah, did Snyder and Capullo write that, or was it? I don't know if it was who was writing Detective at that time. It was somebody, but yeah, like the beginning of the New 52. I was like, oh yeah, they're going there, because yeah, Joker action. Yeah, like the whole Joker cutting the face off.
Because it was one of those, like, he cut his face off at the end of before the New 52, right? And he left it in his cell, and it was in Detective that started, and then he appeared back in. Because I always felt like the whole Joker story was more controlled by Scott Snyder because of how he brought him in with the death of the family, and then that he was in the annual as a flashback, and then when he got his face reattached, and oh my gosh, this is so creepy, sickening. When what's his face? Get it? What's his face?
No.
When Dwight's wearing his face and like, I'm the prophet, and they're all like, what? What? And at first, my first thought was, are they going to go the route where Jerome doesn't come back to life and it's just Dwight pretending to be? And then when he came down the stairs, I was like, nope, it's just Dwight wearing a mask. Being uber creepy.
Yeah, I know. I don't know if that was creepier or Jerome running around with no face, although he bandaged it most of the time.
Yeah, but just where it was sliding, I was like, this is like straight up out of that run of Batman. And then at the end, he's using like the regular, like he's using the industrial staples and stuff.
But the
He was like, there.
Yeah, but the funniest scene I think of the episode was Jerome with Lee. It's just like, oh, I guess I got to kill Theo Gallivan. She's like, he's dead. He's like, what? He's dead? She's like, who killed him? And he's like, she's like, which time?
Oh my gosh, his whole like, you should shoot yourself. And he's like, okay.
He thinks about no.
And he's just like, and just that whole dog. And then he's like, wait a minute, where's my face? And how'd he, even though he was in a police uniform and everything, how'd he get out of there? Like, hey, cop with all the bandages, you okay?
Yeah, but I'm thinking there weren't a lot of cops there because they were all down at the TV station.
My other favorite Jerome moment is when he's like, Dwight, it's okay. I'm not mad about my face. He's like, and then like they set up everything and he's like, hey, Dwight, you know what? I am mad about my face. I don't forgive you. Dwight's just sitting there hooked up to the thing. I'm like, yep, that's what happens when you work with a psychopath.
No. Yeah, but he really didn't forgive him.
Yeah, he spread Dwight all around town.
No. I just wonder with their, it's kind of the end, but taking out the power plant, maybe, I don't know if we're getting an episode this Monday, then it's off till April, and the episodes in April are Fallen City. I wonder if they're going to do like a No Man's Land type of thing.
See, that's why I kind of, depending on how they do this next episode, I thought the power going out like it was would have been a great cliffhanger for the finale.
Yeah. So
I'm wondering what the next episode is going to be like to have a great cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
But okay. The very beginning, when the two security guards playing, and the one security guard we find out actually turns on the other because he's with the Jokers, is what I'm going to call him for right now. You think he could have done it before the other security guard shot one of them? But no, he just let one of his comrades get shot.
I think they deliberately wrote it that way just to show you how crazy the Jokers are.
Yeah,
they're
that
just
makes
all
sense.
Chaos, and they're not the biggest thinkers, but yeah, they really don't care about that stuff. It's just chaos for the sake of chaos.
Makes sense. Oh, Phil, I forgot to tell you. You are Jerome.
Why?
I am Jerome.
Oh.
We are all Jerome. We're supposed to start chanting now.
We are Jerome.
Yeah. So he's like, there's a cult about me?
Yeah. But you know who got some good stuff this episode? Your girl, Stabby Babs.
Oh my gosh. She just keeps becoming. I'm just happy she's a character and not a set piece anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's just nice to see. I'm still waiting for like just an episode where a breach opens up and Cisco looks in like, this is messed up. Pops out. Like, not going to this Earth. Ever. But Nigma's plan for the Riddler and the way he manipulates everybody, and how Barbara was like, Penguin, I'm your friend. And he's like, no, you're not. You're trying to trick me. And then she's like, oh, here's the phone. And he realizes she wasn't, so to speak, because she really was. Like, it's a double, triple cross type thing. But man, like, she was so good. And Penguin's like losing his mind. He's just losing his junk. You know what? I almost feel bad for him till I remember that he killed Nigma's second woman.
Oh, yeah.
But Nigma's not. Nigma has to know what's up. You know, he's like, look, I killed her the first time. You killed her the second time. I get it. We're good, bro.
Nah, I don't think so. He seems pretty angry.
Oh, I know. And it's just, I don't. It's just one of those things. I'm like, you know, there's some story plot lines that you feel move too quickly in a show, and there are some that you feel move too slow. I feel like this one's moving quick.
Yes.
You know, I felt like there was too much with Jervis at the beginning of this season.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like we had the whole court Jervis, then they're, drug out, and then now we're into the Penguin thing. And I don't know. I just feel like there was an unbalance because I think the Penguin, right, like as mayor, should be we should see him as a really good mayor because he's controlling the crime and the underworld at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And then it starts to leak and come out. Like it shouldn't have fallen apart, I think, as quickly as it is.
It's Gotham, man. It just seems like, one bad day and everything tips the other way.
One bad day.
Uh-huh. I know.
Oh, see what you did there, Phil. See what you did there.
That wasn't even intentional.
Good job, Phil. See, that's how smart Phil is. He makes amazing comic references and quotes and doesn't even recognize it because it just comes. It just ceased from him.
But we got some good Harvey and Jim stuff this episode too.
Yeah, we did.
I love that interrogation scene. They just both start beating on the crooked cop, and then Lee just comes in and gives him some sodium pentothal.
She's like, I'm getting into talk. I just like this good cop, bad cop thing doesn't work on cops. You're right.
No.
Let me hit him for a while, Jim.
Acting Captain Bullock.
Yeah. I just think it's funny. Well, I mean, it's not funny, but we knew like a cop was going to be bad.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, you were here defending the night Jerome broke in. It's like, and then I was changed. That was the night of my. I just would have punched him in the face right there. Like,
yeah.
Shut up.
But I don't know. Lee's getting on my nerves. Just the whole well, why don't you if you find Dwight, have him bring Mario back, or you don't get to tell me what to do. You killed Mario. I'm like, okay. You never thanked me for saving your life.
I thought we put that to rest like last episode when she was like, don't kill Jim.
Yeah, exactly.
She got Falcone to call the hit off.
Mm-hmm.
But now she's like back to being mad. And I get it. She's mad.
Mm-hmm.
But Mario's about to stab her and murder her. And no matter what she could have said about, we could have saved Mario.
Mm-hmm.
In situations like that, even a great trained professional
mm-hmm.
can go for a kill shot.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm trying to remember. Did Jim was it a kill shot? Because didn't Mario fall? Or no, he dropped the knife, wasn't it? That fell that he had.
Yeah, but was it? I'm trying to remember. Was it a headshot?
That's what I'm trying to remember.
I'm thinking it had to be because he was directly behind Lee, so I don't think he had to. He probably didn't have a shot to the chest or anything. Probably
that's right. See, that's the thing.
Probably his head was probably the only thing open. Yeah.
But Lee's all mad about it instead of thinking, "Oh, Mario was going to stab me." I would have let Mario stab her.
Mm-hmm.
Then I would have shot him. Just been like, "See, look, I could have let him keep stabbing you, but no, But no, Lee, I shot him and saved you. Yeah, he was your husband. Yeah, I was jealous, but I'm not going to kill the guy just because he was infected by a raging monstrous virus and he was going to murder you. I think that's probable cause for stopping you.
He was about to go all stabby babs on you.
He's like, look, I've dated and been with a murderous, crazy woman. You don't want that on your conscience.
All right, here's my question. She was like, "Oh, if you find Dwight, have him bring back Mario." I mean, who knows does the virus die when you die? I mean, if you bring him back, is he still going to be crazy?
Great. That's a whole nother thought process. Yeah, That'd be funny if at the end of it, Jim's like, "Hey, before Jerome murdered Dwight, we brought back
Mario,
and he looks like a raging zombie, just eyes red." Virus, and he's just yelling about how he wants to kill and infect everyone, and he breaks out Barnes and they just riot.
Oh, that's my other problem. It's like, how is Dwight bringing people back? Okay, Hugo Strange was like this brilliant mad scientist. I'm like, did Dwight steal his work, or and meanwhile it just looks like he's like pumping electricity through him. I don't know if he's pumping a couple of drugs through him, but it looks like he's just hitting him with a live wire and bringing him back to life.
Yeah, I was like, does he have The Secrets of Life and Death by Dr. Hugo Strange?
Mm-hmm.
Or I want to know, like, did he work at Indian Hill or anything, and then he got a job, as the coroner after it or something? I can't remember what all they said about Dwight. Like, was he in hiding? Yeah, because it looks like he's just electric and stuff, and people are coming back to life.
But I mean, I would rather just have, them say Dwight stole Hugo Strange's technique, because it's like, okay, so now anyone's just bringing people back from the dead in Gotham?
Or Dwight was one of the escaped inmates from Indian Hill that we've yet to really focus on.
Mm-hmm.
All those crazies that busted out and, clone Bruce wherever he's at.
Yeah, what happened to that? Oh, maybe that'll be in the cliffhanger.
Yeah. Okay, so let's get into Bruce. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
And jump. Of course Bruce is going to pay the money that Selina's mom needs. You know why? Bruce loves Selina. He's infatuated, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's going to do anything he can. And I really seriously feel horrible for Selina.
Oh yeah, because she has to feel like her whole life's out of control because her mother only came back to get this money, and Bruce made this decision and didn't ask consult her about it.
I mean, she makes a point when she says, "You both lied to me,"
mm-hmm.
and he says, "Yes, for two very different reasons." He says, "I knew that she was just using you, but he had hope that things would change.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe she would actually care about Selina." And it's, I don't know, it's just sad.
And plus, maybe he was hoping Selina never found out her mother was using her.
Yeah, like her mother changed and Selina never had to find out.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, and Selina's like, don't pay him because he's going to keep coming back. And Bruce and Alfred know that, but Bruce is trying to give Selina's mom a chance, and he's trying to give Selina a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Poor guy. He's just a man in love, okay?
Mm-hmm.
He's just trying to do what's right for his woman. And his woman's, not giving him a whole lot to work with here.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, he's a teenage boy. Yeah, he's not going to make the best decisions all the time.
The scene that I like the most is when Selina attacks Bruce, and they have a little fight sparring, where we actually get to see Bruce has been training and practicing and learning something.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, oh, look, it's the first scuffle of Batman and Catwoman. Which makes me, I'm curious how they'll do it where will they already know each other? Like when Catwoman, will they figure it out quite easily who's who?
They should.
And also, where's Ivy? This whole storyline with Ivy supposed to be aged up for a reason. She's just been gone for a while.
Well, I mean, I know you hate her, but I mean, they're doing that with everybody. I mean, look at Fish. Fish didn't make it past the second or third episode. She's still running around out there. Hugo Strange, you saw him once this season in the beginning.
And Fish, that's fine. She can wander. I'm okay with that.
I know, but I'm just saying, there's so many characters they just have dangling in the wind out there.
Which is fine, but when it's a TV series, it's different in the comic because it's always ongoing and you can bring it back. But in the TV series, you have the actor contracted for certain things and times, and you're it would be weird if Ivy, they just, what happened and then we don't see her again until season 4 or something. They just aha, she's back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just that they have too many characters at one time. Because they try to jam all these characters, all these villains in there. It's okay, we'll maybe save somebody for next season.
I mean, it's not like the show's in where they're like, oh, should we renew it? Shouldn't we renew it? Where you have to kind of play it like, we want to tell these stories. We better hurry before we get canceled. I think they have a little bit of a safety net where but I mean, that side story was good. It was sad just because you really feel for Selena and what she's going through.
Mm-hmm. Well, I can't believe we only got one episode left again until the end of April.
I know. I'm like, yay. I'm like, yeah, we're back for 3 weeks. And then we're gone. So that's why, you can tell they're doing this whole Jerome thing, and then, next week's episode is the big Jerome episode, and then whatever happens with him, and we'll see where he goes and what they do, and maybe he'll fall into some chemicals and bleach himself. It was funny. He did make the reference about himself being a ginger. That was pretty funny.
Yeah.
When he was in that room with Lee, he's like, did we ever? She's like, no. He's like, what? Ginger, not your thing. I don't know. I'm at the point just making the Joker. I don't care.
I don't know if I like Joker having that much of an origin.
I mean, it was one of those things. At first, I was like, okay, Joker, awesome. And then when they did the ending where you'll be a plague upon this city, kind of like a curse. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. And then they bring him back, and I'm like, okay, you're making him really Jokery.
If you make him the real Joker, it's like, okay, so everything's going to be utter chaos from now on. Or, if Jim and the cops handle him, it's like, okay, well, then why do you need a Batman?
That's why Bruce is going to go and get injected by Ivy and get aged up. And then all of a sudden he's like, I'm Batman.
He should.
No, what's going to happen is they're going to age up the clone, and he's going to go out and be Batman while Bruce grows, and then eventually Bruce is just going to take over the mantle of Batman from the clone, because the clone's going to die, and everyone's going to wonder how Batman never ages.
Yeah, I would love to see Batman, but I'm just afraid they're going to pull Smallville, and he ain't going to put on the mask until the last episode.
Oh, I know that. So he'll just start going out with his black ski mask. That's what he'll do for the show, and then the last episode he'll actually become Batman.
Yes.
But is there anything else in the episode we missed?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I mean, heck, we did a regular review. We had an interview. I mean, people got double the content this week.
I know it's an awesome show from Tyler and Phil, from Batman and Robin, from
Tell Your Friends.
Yeah, tell your friends. Talk about how amazing Phil is.
And Tyler.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes.
All right.
All right.
So is that it?
Yeah. I mean, in other Batman related news, we did have Justice League Dark came out digitally this week. In a week or I think 2 weeks, it'll come out. I think it's February 7th. It comes out on physical copy.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Let's see. So we got some new pictures of Justice League Batman. And haven't seen any new Justice League action.
That's weird.
But Solomon did receive a really awesome Justice League action toy. I wonder who sent him that one.
I don't know.
Maybe someone named Luca.
And his dad, yeah.
And
February 10th, Lego Batman.
And we went ahead and bought our tickets for Lego Batman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna go the 14th at 1:30. So it's on a Tuesday, which is cheap discount ticket day. And during the week. So it'll be Solomon's first movie. And it'll be a fun experience.
Yeah, I think we're going that Saturday. It's me, Danielle, my 3-year-old son. Well, yeah, my 3 soon to be 4-year-old son Luca and his 21-year-old girlfriend.
The man's got skills. I'll give him that. The man's got taste and power.
He does.
So it's that smile in those eyes, man. It gets him.
He knows how to play it.
I'll tell you what, though, if anyone's looking at going to the Lego Batman, check it out, because when the tickets were announced, I pulled up like the theaters around here, and some of the bigger theaters were already selling out of like all their screenings, and I was like, holy cow. I was getting freaked out.
Wow. You know what? After you see it, maybe we'll have to do a review of it, because I mean we'll be on break at that point anyway. So
I think we should. I mean, It's Batman related, and it's something we both get to experience. We get to experience with our kids, so it's how Batman brings people together.
So if you're seeing it that Tuesday, maybe that Saturday after, we'll do it.
Yeah, that would be fine. That would give people, a week to go see it themselves. Because I always hate when people post reviews or things like right after it comes out or the day it comes out.
Oh yeah.
Where I'm like, I can't read this. I have to wait till I see it. Then I have to try to find your article or your review again. So
for like comic book reviews, people like put them up like Wednesday morning. I'm like, what? I'm like, come on, I haven't gotten to the story yet.
I know. Just put them up the next day, okay? Like, I want to read your review, but I want to be able to read the book for myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I think that's all the Batman news. I can't think of anything else in animation, comics.
Yeah, and I mean, we'll be back next week. So
they announced more about the Teen Titans Judas Contract animated film. So we should get a good sneak preview of that when the physical copy of Justice League Dark drops.
Oh yeah. All right, so how about we get out of here?
Sounds good. I got a toddler to wrestle.
Oh yeah. All right, everyone. Send us your thoughts. On Gotham, on Batman. Once you see Lego Batman, send us your thoughts on that. Like we said, we'll talk about that. Email us beforethebat@gmail.com. Facebook is Before the Bat, the Gotham podcast. Twitter is @BeforeTheBatPod, and check it out. Well, especially this upcoming Monday. Well, it might be too late when you hear this, but whenever the show's new, I'm usually live tweeting. This week I didn't because we had no power. So a tree came down, the power lines came down. But yeah, check out the live tweet. Like I said, you'll get interact with me. Deborah Unger's there, so you talk to Olga herself. And check us out on Instagram, Before the Bat. And Tyler, where can all the fans find you?
You can find me at JTY Patrick anywhere online, basically. And you can find me over on the Krypton Report podcast, where we talk all things Superman and Supergirl and have a good time over there.
Oh, yeah. Over on Legends of DC, you'll find all kinds of Tyler, all kinds of Phil, and a whole bunch of other people.
Oh, yeah. Other people. Yep.
What? We like Lilith and Charlie and your wife. Anyway, and as for me, you can always...
And Jania?
Yes, that's what I said, and your wife, Jania. And as for me, you could always get a hold of me.
Phil, you cut out.
Oh. Can you hear me?
Oh, there you go. Like, you cut out for a second.
Yeah, I could hear you. I don't know what.
I was like, because the way you just like, that's pretty funny. And then I was like, oh, Antonia. And then like, I didn't hear you say anything. Just edit that around.
Yeah. Technical difficulties, people.
Oh no, there's Batman. There's Bat Solo. Bat Solo.
And as for me, you can always get a hold of me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am @nightwingpdp. Discuss all DC and Marvel with me. And I'm all over the Nuff Said podcast also. Check me out on all new Marvel Roundup, Super Connectivity, and the new Wade's World podcast, all about Deadpool. So if you love Deadpool, check that out. All right, Tyler, we ready to go so you can have breakfast with the family?
Oh yeah.
All right, everyone, come back next week. It's the mid-season finale, which at the end of January it's kind of weird. But all right, we'll roll with it. But until next week, same bat time, same bat channel.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Gotham Podcast.